Do you often find yourself surrounded by negativity and wonder why? It's a curious phenomenon, isn't it? The way some of us seem to have a magnet hidden somewhere within, pulling in negativity like iron filings to a lodestone. It's not just about romantic entanglements. This pattern spills over into friendships and, yes, even into our professional lives. Why is it that certain people find themselves repeatedly entangled with partners, friends, or colleagues who bring more shadows than light? It might feel like a curse, or perhaps a series of unfortunate coincidences, but the truth often digs a bit deeper than mere chance. This attraction to toxic individuals isn't as uncommon as one might hope. In fact, it's a widespread issue affecting countless lives, disrupting peace, and perpetuating cycles of dissatisfaction and conflict. Understanding this can be more than a little disheartening, but it's also the first step towards crafting a new reality. By recognizing the patterns, we can begin to unravel them. Let's delve into the psychological reasons behind this pattern. Why do we attract what we do? It often starts with what we carry. Imagine walking through life with an invisible suitcase. It's packed with past experiences, unresolved issues, and the echoes of old conversations. This isn't just a metaphor. It's a potent reality that shapes how and whom we attract into our lives. Unpacking this emotional baggage is crucial, especially when it comes to understanding why we might find ourselves repeatedly entangled with toxic individuals. It's like having a beacon that sends out a specific signal, only it's not SOS, but a subtle invitation to those who resonate with the turmoil within us. First, let's delve into the concept of low self-esteem. This isn't merely about feeling down about oneself. It's a deeper, more pervasive sense of not measuring up, not being enough. When self-esteem is low, there's a tendency to accept treatment that matches this internal belief system. In essence, if someone doesn't value themselves highly, they inadvertently allow others who don't value them either to enter their life sphere. Now, consider the psychological phenomenon known as repetition compulsion. This is a theory where individuals are believed to subconsciously repeat patterns of relationships or situations that are distressing. Why? Because these patterns are familiar. They are known quantities, even if they are harmful. It's an attempt to resolve past conflicts and seek closure, but often, it just ensnares individuals in a cycle of repeated emotional pain. This cycle can be vicious and self-perpetuating. Each toxic relationship reinforces the belief that one doesn't deserve better, which in turn attracts more toxicity. Breaking free from this cycle requires a deep dive into one's emotional suitcase. It requires facing those packed-away fears, confrontations that never were, and tears that were never shed. Understanding our emotional baggage is the first step to changing our relational orbit. By unpacking these issues, acknowledging them, and beginning the work to resolve them, we start altering that deep-seated belief system about what we deserve and what we can attract. This isn't just about moving away from toxicity, it's about moving toward a healthier, more self-affirming future. Imagine a world where you can say no without guilt. That's the power of boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines we draw around ourselves to mark what we are comfortable with and what we aren't. They are essential for maintaining a sense of self and for navigating relationships healthily. Without clear boundaries, it's easy to become a magnet for those who might not have our best interests at heart. Let's delve into why boundaries are so crucial. They serve as a protective barrier, shielding us from being exploited or manipulated. People who possess strong, well-defined boundaries are less likely to attract or entertain toxic individuals. These are the people who know how to assert themselves, making it clear what is acceptable and what is not. On the flip side, consider weak boundaries. These are often characterized by a fear of rejection or confrontation, leading to a hesitancy to say no. This can attract manipulative individuals who thrive on control. They seek out those who are pliable and easy to influence, creating a relationship dynamic that is skewed in their favor. In these interactions, the person with weak boundaries often ends up feeling drained, used, or even resentful. So how does one go about setting healthy boundaries? It starts with self-awareness. Recognize your feelings, needs, and rights. Understand that it's perfectly reasonable to prioritize your well-being, and that doing so does not make you selfish or mean. It's about respecting yourself enough to say no when something doesn't feel right. Communicating your boundaries clearly and consistently is next. This doesn't have to be confrontational, it's simply a matter of stating your limits calmly and firmly. Over time, this practice will help deter those who do not respect your limits and attract those who value and honor your autonomy. Remember, boundaries aren't just about keeping the bad out, they're also about letting the good in. By defining what you are comfortable with, you open the door to healthier, more reciprocal relationships. Strong boundaries not only protect us, they define who we allow into our personal space. Ever wondered why the new friend or partner feels so familiar? It's almost as if there's a hidden force drawing us to people who resonate with parts of our past. But why does this happen? Let's dive into the role of familiarity in shaping our relationships. Imagine the comfort of a well-worn shoe. It fits perfectly because it's molded to the contours of your foot. Similarly, we gravitate towards relationships that feel comfortable and familiar, even if they're not the best fit for our well-being. This pattern often stems from our earliest experiences. The dynamics we observed and were part of in our childhood homes set a blueprint for what relationships look like. If those relationships were fraught with challenges, we might unknowingly seek out similar dynamics as adults, mistakenly equating familiarity with normalcy. Consider, for instance, someone who grew up in a home where affection was only given as a reward for achievement. They might find themselves attracted to partners who are emotionally distant, unconsciously trying to recreate and resolve past wounds. But here's the twist. Familiarity doesn't always mean safety. Just because a dynamic is known doesn't make it beneficial. It's like hearing a song on repeat. Just because you know the lyrics doesn't mean it's good for you. Breaking the cycle means recognizing and understanding these familiar patterns. It's about stepping back and asking ourselves, is this relationship mirroring toxic traits from my past? Am I choosing partners based on healthy preferences? Or am I being swayed by the familiar echoes of old dynamics? By acknowledging these patterns, we pave the way for healthier, more conscious relationship choices. Change is not just possible, it's within your grasp. The journey to altering your relationship dynamics begins with a deep dive into self-awareness. Recognize the patterns in your relationships that have led to toxicity. Are you perhaps echoing the dynamics you saw in early life, or are you seeking out what feels familiar, even if it's unhealthy? Self-awareness is the first step, but it's just the beginning. Engaging in therapy can be a transformative experience. It allows for a structured exploration of your emotions and behaviors under the guidance of a professional. Therapy helps you understand the roots of your attraction to certain types of people and empowers you to make conscious changes. Personal growth is another critical element. It involves actively deciding to improve oneself through learning, healing, and maturation. This could mean reading books, attending workshops, or simply engaging in a lot of introspective thought. As you grow, your relationship dynamics shift, because you start to value different traits in partners and friends. Communication is the lifeblood of any healthy relationship. It's about more than just talking. It's about connecting, understanding, and respecting each other's perspectives. Practice open and honest communication with your partner. Discuss your feelings, expectations, and fears without judgment. This fosters a deeper bond and helps both partners feel valued and understood. Mutual respect is just as crucial. It forms the foundation on which all other positive aspects of a relationship are built. When there is respect, there is also trust, support, and admiration. Make it a priority to show respect in every interaction with your partner. This means listening attentively, valuing their opinions, and treating them with kindness and consideration. By focusing on these areas, self-awareness, therapy, personal growth, communication, and mutual respect, you can profoundly change how you relate to others and how they relate to you. This isn't just about avoiding toxic relationships, it's about creating a foundation for healthy, fulfilling connections. Empower yourself to attract the relationships you deserve. Let's quickly recap what we've uncovered about attracting toxic people. Through our exploration, we've delved deep into the roots of why certain patterns seem to repeat themselves in our interactions. Firstly, we discussed emotional baggage. It's crucial to acknowledge and unpack these hidden burdens. They often subconsciously dictate whom we attract and how we interact. By confronting and processing this baggage, we pave the way for healthier relationships. Next, we touched on the significance of boundaries. Setting firm boundaries is not just about saying no, it's about respecting oneself and demanding respect from others. Boundaries help filter out toxicity before it can seep into our lives. We also explored the attraction to familiarity. Often we gravitate towards what we know, even if it's not beneficial for us. Recognizing these patterns is the first step towards breaking free from them. Lastly, we discussed changing your relationship dynamics. This involves actively choosing to engage differently with the world around you. By altering our approach and expectations, we can attract those who resonate more positively with our true selves. As we conclude, remember this journey is about self-improvement and proactive change. Each step forward is a step away from the chaos of toxic relationships and towards a more balanced, fulfilling life. Start applying these insights today and notice the shift in your relationships. Remember, you have the power to change your relational universe.